In the last video, we saw how to create one business process, a simple business process we created using script task. We deployed it on the Kai server, and then we executed the instances that was created. And then we saw the output, how to check how exactly the process is going on by checking the diagram, the flow diagram of the business process. Now, in this case, in this video, we will see the most uh, used part, that how to check the logs of the server and the different folders that we have, what is the use of that. So just the unzipped folder that we have, that is a jvpm server dot whatever the unzipped file that you had, the different versions. So just we can go to the bin folder, we can explore this one. So we have two scripting files here, standalone.sh and standalone.bat. So these are the two scripts that we run for starting the server. In case of Linux and the Mac OS, we use this standalone.sh file to run, and in case of Windows, we run this standalone.bat file. When you go to this standalone folder, you will have different folders again, the configuration, data, deployments. All the deployments related details will be in this deployments folder. And you can also change the configuration. So we have different things here. You can see the standalone.xml file. So when we run the standalone.sh file, then this property file gets read. So we read this standalone.xml file. So what are the things that we can see inside this? So you can see the starting tag, which is here is server. So everything related to the server details are maintained here. So you can see the extensions that we used for running the server and the properties of the server. So you can see here the server.id, which is the sample server. The value of this id is, you might have seen last time when we were running this execution server. So in the server configuration, you can see the value that is assigned to the server, that is sample server, which you can see here, and the location of the server. So these are the locations. It is running on the localhost 8080. You can see the timeout for the server, at what, if your system is slow, we can use the timeout properties inside this for making it run for the longer time, take longer time for loading the application. And anything related to the database setup. So when you, by default, in case of JVPM, we use the H2 database. So when you search for H2, you will see in the data source we have the H2, all these connection URL and the drivers that we used for the connecting with the database are maintained here. So you can see, but if you want to have your custom database, right, PostgreSQL and the MySQL or the MySQL database, you can change this section, the data source section. So just you need to have modification in this. We will see in the coming videos how to connect with the different database apart from this H2 database. So you can see the username and the password for the database that they have mentioned, and the class name that you need to change. So these are the things that we will see in upcoming videos, how to change this file and the other way of connecting to the database. So apart from this standalone.xml, we have also the users.properties. So you might have seen when we log in, we use the username and the password, that is wbadmin, and the password is the same, wbadmin. So when you go to users.properties, we have many users and the IDs. So we are using this one. You can see there are different IDs generated automatically for each and every users. So we are using this one. You can log in through this Crispy, Zon, Mary. So these are the things that, these are the IDs that you can use to log in and then execute the business processes. So in this video, we'll see how to create the user, and it will be automatically deployed inside this users.properties. It will be listed here. Apart from this users.properties, if a user has been created, it must have been assigned some roles. So you can see the roles.properties. So in this, each and every user have the roles assigned. For this wadmin, we have admin, analyst, user, process admin, the Kai server. So these are the roles which we can assign to our new users. Now let's create one user here. Go to this admin section. This is the icon that you can click on. You can see the users. These are the by default users that we already have in this console. and we store that in the properties file. When you go to users.properties, you will see these users listed here. Now let's add one more user. If you want to have a different user for your business purpose, so let us give the name. Then it needs to be assigned in a group. What kind of groups you are assigning to? Let's be HR, Kai server, sales, and the PM. Add the group. These are the groups that I have added. You can remove as well from here if you don't wish to add in a certain group. Then you can assign the roles. Let's give the admin access and the developer access. So now we selected the groups and the roles for this. Now select on create. It will ask for the password. Do you want to set a password? You can go for no or yes. So I'm selecting one password for this. So this is the password that I have selected. My name, just change. It will say the user has been created and the password updated successfully. Now you can see this has been listed in the users list. So Nitish is now a user. Now when you go back to users.properties, we will see this has been updated, which was not there before, and a random ID has been generated for this user Nitish. Now to check the roles that we have set for this user, the newly created user, you can go and check in the roles.properties. This is the Nitish, the username, and we had given the access of process admin, admin, HR, developer. So these are the groups, and these were the groups that we are assigned, and these are the roles that we are assigned. So apart from this, we also have you can see the deployment section. When you go to the deployment section, these are the different war files, the jar files kept here. And when you go to check the log of the server, then you can go and click here on the log. So for each and every day they keep one log, they keep one file. You can check the server log here. So yesterday we created one script task, so you can see this is the date. Okay, so let's open it with some app because it is not by default set. We can go and we can select any text editor for this. We can select the Sublime Text. So these are logs that we have. You can check everything, which version we are using. So we have all the logs here that you can see the executed task yesterday we had created. You can search. So this was the output that we had printed yesterday, which is displayed here. So this is the log that you can check, and for the debugging purpose this is very useful. You need to check the logs. If there are any error, then you can go and check in the log section. Now as this user has been created, now we can see that this user is there and we have set the rules and the properties for that. Now you can go, you can log out from here, and you can log in again using the new ID. So there was one uppercase that I had used for the username, so it needs to be the case sensitive. Now it will load the application which we had created for the specific user. Now you can see user Nitish is logged in. So we can now create different projects inside this. We do have the spaces and everything that we can see. So this is how a new user has been created in this business center.